So Marjorie Taylor Greene has emerged from hibernation. I don't know where she's been. I've been on Reddit. I've been on white people Twitter, actually. I lurk there. And white people on Twitter, on Reddit, have been theorizing and, hypothesizing about where Marjorie's been, what she's up to. The main theory is that there's some kind of indictment brewing against her and she's been keeping it low-key because the block is hot. And Laura Loomer's unbelievably racist statement about Kamala Harris has apparently triggered Marjorie Taylor Greene to return to political discourse and whack Laura Loomer on the hand for being too racist. So here's what Laura Loomer said. So Laura Loomer graced us with her presence on Twitter by saying, if Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center and the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer service satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. So this is what we've become as a country. This is what's hot in the streets of MAGA, in the MAGA streets. This is what's hot. This is what they get down to. This is what they dance to, is this. Now, this is someone who's tightly connected to MAGA, and I'm genuinely curious as to what Donald Trump is going to see. He really doesn't want to. By the way, Donald Trump said he does not want to do a third debate. And that's smart because stuff like this makes it impossible for Donald Trump to do a third debate. Laura Loomer tweeting disgusting, demonic stuff like this. Donald Trump has to answer for this. Why are you openly associating? And this is not Laura Loomer's first disgusting, vile statement, her first racist statement. Laura Loomer has been doing this for quite some time. MAGA associates with the most vile of vermin. And because they do so, well, they are engaging in that kind of behavior. And they associate with those who delve deeper into that behavior. Laura Loomer decides to make a racist, she called it a joke when Marjorie Taylor Greene called her out for it. Because apparently to Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is too far. And I kind of agree. Like, yeah, you guys are putting, forget mask off, it's mask on. You guys are actually taking all your clan hoodies and clan masks and putting them on now late into the game. MAGA, you really can't afford for tweets like this to be going viral on Twitter from some of the biggest voices in your movement. But here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene had to say about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene says this is appalling and extremely racist. It does not represent who we are as Republicans or MAGA. It does, by the way. This does not represent President Trump. This type of behavior should not be tolerated ever. Laura Loomer should take this down. Now, I don't know what the coordination is like on the right wing, okay? I'm pretty sure it's literally just one big show. Okay, Ben Shapiro wakes up in the morning, Tucker Carlson has dropped a new neo-Nazi apologist video. Fucking Tim Pool wakes up to find out his boss is associated with Russians who have been indicted. They've been indicted. What goes, you wake up and you see this shit. Dave Rubin wakes up. Candace Owens is going borderline, basically anti-Semitic. It begs what goes on? Don't know, I would hate to be a right-wing politician and a right-wing media pundit because there's no telling as to what goes on over there. No one's on the same page. No one's connected. No one's really tapped in with each other. It's just a race to hell. It's a race to hell. I've said this before, if Donald Trump had any semblance or understanding of damage control, I would be literally fuming at Laura Loomer. Why would you tweet some like this? As tightly connected as you are to MAGA and members of Trump's inner circle, his family, why would you tweet this? Why would you tweet this? Why would you basically tell the entire country, hey, it's we're going full on mask off now, before you haughty fucking smart ass morons get in my comment section about, they've always been mask off. Stop. This level of mask off is a new low. It is an unbelievably new low. And Laura Loomer's always been a Momo. She's always been running her mouth for too damn long. But bro, This is insane. And Marjorie, I don't know what's going on with MTG. I don't know if the FBI done pulled up on her and told her something. I don't know what's going on over there. But she's been quiet for quite some time. And we all know she's not someone who is just known for being silent, for shutting the F up, for knowing when to shut the F up. That's not MTG. For Marjorie to come out of the woodwork, to, emerge from whatever, police interview she's been doing. I'm just joking. For her to come from wherever she's at to address Laura Loomer's tweet is interesting. And she also says this does not represent President Trump. Like I just said, MAGA is not a cohesive movement. The reality is Marjorie Taylor Greene can say this does not represent President Trump. And if Trump is asked about this, he won't condemn it. He'll bring up some other shit. He'll bring up something. Kamala hates Jewish people. He'll bring up something completely unfounded, completely detached from reality in order to obfuscate and push the minds of the public away from what one of his associates have said on Twitter. Donald Trump will never, ever, ever join reality. He refuses to join the rest of us. He is resolute to remain in MAGA world at all and any costs, even the lives of his own supporters. The reality is, MAGA's not sure which racism is okay. Nick Fuentes got called a rat by Jordan Peterson for being an anti-Semite, which is he's literally the Jewish people's biggest op of this century. Nick Fuentes, you got it. I really don't want to big him up, but because he loves this comparison. But you have Adolf. He was their biggest enemy last century, but I'd say this century is Nick. He's put the work in. He's put in the hours. He's unlocked the skills on the perk tree. He done did all the... He's the Jewish people's biggest enemy today. Anti-Semitism is not the only form of racism raging on Twitter, and yet Jordan and Michaela Peterson felt it was the only racism they needed to call out. Elon should really, do something about all this anti-Semitism on Twitter. He should really look into this and probably get rid of it. And it's as many anti-black posts I've seen on my feed, and I don't follow white nationalists on Twitter, by the way. I have been inundated with crazy anti-black posts on my Twitter. I don't follow these people. I don't believe for 1 second the only thing people are seeing is anti-Semitism. And this isn't a statement to say oh, well, if my people aren't being protected, no one should. I'm not arguing that in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm saying is the Petersons conveniently and interestingly ignore the anti-black racism plaguing Twitter in favor of calling out anti-Semitism. The right is constantly trying to create this perfect little sculpture of what racism is supposed to look like. No, it's a full package. Take it all or take none. Pause. You feel me? If you gonna do this racism shit, you got to figure out what you about to get down with. The whole thing or none of it. You got to pick one. I'm sitting there seeing the Petersons get bent out of shape about anti-Semitism, and it's okay, it's really, really nice that you guys are calling out anti-Semitism. You got big platforms, kudos to you, but anti-black racism is booming on the platform, and you haven't said anything about it at all. Zero. And yet you think you're going to appeal to the Groypers and get them to stop being anti-Semitic when you don't even have the strength to tell them to stop being anti-black? What are we talking about? Laura Loomer called Marjorie Taylor Greene a raging anti-Semite because of her Jewish laser comments. I'll show it to you. Laura Loomer says, it's really funny how MTG, a raging anti-Semite who said Jews use space lasers to control the world, wants to pretend like I'm a racist because I made a funny joke about Kamala Harris making cooking videos and buying curry spice at an anti-Trump spice shop, and I mocked how she uses her Indian mom as a way to dodge questions. I won't be apologizing for having a sense of humor. I also believe in free speech, MTG, which you clearly don't support. I get it. You're jealous of me because despite your planted hit pieces about me in the New York Times, I won. So clearly they have personal beef, but isn't it really interesting how Laura Loomer invokes the anti-Semite attack? You're a racist. You don't get to use the term anti-Semite. You're literally a racist. Stop. Other Jewish people can use it. You can't. You're a literal racist. You don't get to call MTG an anti-Semite. Your post about Kamala was not a joke. It was not a joke. It was an unbelievably demeaning and disrespectful statement about a woman who is half black and half Indian. Then saying that she invokes her Indian mom when asked questions. Oh no, can't talk about my mom anymore when asked questions about my background and my life and my plan for the middle class because she's brown. Don't want to invoke her. Don't want to make white radical, far-right conservatives feel uncomfortable about a brown woman being invoked in a conversation. Better leave my literal mom out of the conversation because she's brown to accommodate MAGA. What? But this is the insanity we're dealing with, guys. This is what we're dealing with. This is I'm literally just having this shit on the screen next to me is pulling the brain cells out of my brain. I'm being attacked. This is what am I looking at, bro? She calls MTG an anti-Semite. Big dog, you are a racist. You don't get to call y'all are both racist, by the way. But you don't get to use the racism attack on MTG after you just sat there and made an unbelievably racist statement. What if Marjorie was joking about the space lasers? Then what? Because it sounds funny. Jewish space lasers sounds hilarious. What if she was joking? It obviously wasn't a joke, by the way. What if MTG was joking? Then what? It's just cool for her to accuse Jewish people of using space lasers to control the world, as if that conspiracy theory hasn't almost wiped them off the face of the earth last century? The two of y'all think it's a joke. The two of y'all think this shit is funny. It ain't funny, bro. The stuff y'all do is not funny. Laura Loomer, you are a racist. Do you somehow believe because you're Jewish that you're safe from this MAGA shit? You are a useful idiot. You are a useful tool. At least Marjorie is a white woman. You're literally Jewish. Marjorie is a southern white chick. You're Jewish. Your time in this MAGA movement has an expiration date. It's not infinite. Unlike Marjorie, she can do this MAGA shit forever. You can't. If Trump and them get the world they want, you're on borrowed time. You're Jewish, again, reminding you. Okay? You making these racist statements about Kamala Harris does not make you much more cooler and accepted in the white supremacist movement. At the end of the day, they're highly paranoid about anyone of Jewish descent. Don't know why, not sure what their problem is, don't know why they're that paranoid and hateful, but they are. And for you to think that somehow or another you can racism your way into being accepted by white supremacists is absolutely not true. I hope you know that. I hope you know your relationship with these white nationalists is not genuine. You're not white, you're Jewish. We all know it. I'm saying it constantly to remind you of who you are. Stop associating with people who hate you for who and what you are. Why are you hanging out with far right wingers who talk crazy about Jewish people all the time? Why? Why are you attacking Kamala Harris's race? All you're doing is emboldening and strengthening lunatics who want to punish the entire Jewish race because of a conspiracy of which they've yet to give any names for. It's like when Kanye attacked Jewish people. People were like, okay, yay, can you give us specific names so we can know who to be upset at? He wouldn't do it. It just kept saying the Jews. And it's all right, well, what's the point of even listening to you? Because if we listen to you, all your movement leads to is raging hate toward an entire race of people, the vast majority of which ain't bothering nobody. I'm not doing this with Laura Loomer and them. The reality of the situation is I'm not doing this. I don't know what possessed MTG to come through and condemn blatant racism. Congrats to her for doing something right. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's the bare minimum. Yeah, that's how we have to start this, is by going down to the absolute bare minimum and saying, yay, every time MAGA does what they're supposed to do as grown-ass adults. I'm sorry. But you have to have redemption. You do. You have to have redemption on the left. This idea of F anybody who was conservative or is conservative. On some level, that's kind of true. J.D. Vance is a Constitution oathbreaker alongside Donald Trump. However, you have to give room for it, even for loons. Well, actually, no. MTG supports an insurrectionist, so. But outside of these two, thing one and thing two, outside of these two, there has to be room for redemption. There has to be room for acknowledging when people do the right thing. It seems to me like MTG and Laura Loomer have personal beef. That's what it seems like to me. And I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene saw how unbelievably and directly racist her statement was and said, aha, now's my time to attack and also make myself look good. Do I believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene in her heart of hearts is against racism? No. Do I think Laura Loomer deserves your sympathy because MTG is an anti-Semite? No. These two are lunatics. Laura Loomer is like the worst version of what MTG could be. She's MTG's final form. Remember like Frieza had all those forms? Laura Loomer is the final form that Goku had to fight at the end. Like, that's literally Laura Loomer. She's the ultimate final form of MTG, and it's just the facts. And it's insane because conservatives are arguing in the comments section trying to figure out, like, which racism is okay, which one is cool. Like, you know, it's funny because, like, a lot of the MAGA people in the comment section are turning on MTG for calling out racism. It's like, y'all can't even be decent for 1 second. That Hillary statement about deplorables is just, it's ringing truer and truer every time y'all use this accursed app called Twitter. It's just like, bro, it's like, it's absolutely insane. You know, it's absolutely insane. It's crazy. It is absolute. And where did MTG even come from? Where did she come from? Like, where's she been? Somebody ask her that. She need to answer that, by the way. MTG been everywhere but answering questions. She's been missing for a long time. So, you know, the reality of the situation is this is 100% a representation of MAGA. I know MTG, this isn't what MAGA is. Yes, it is. And that's how I know MTG doesn't really mean the shit she said, because it's like, bitch, we all know this shit is a representation of MAGA. MAGA is an overtly racist movement. And you know what Laura Loomer need to do is go tell Vivek that. Since you talking all that shit, go tell Vivek that. Since it's so funny and you're so funny and you got jokes, go tell Vivek that. He already accepted Ann Coulter's blatant racism about how he shouldn't be president because he's an Indian, not Indian, an Indian, by the way. How about you remind him? How about you tell him about that? Actually, how about you tell JD Vance's wife, who could possibly end up being within the White House walls? She very well could, you know, be in there. Is she gonna sing up the White House and make it smell like curry? This is like, bro, it's like this movement is chaos. I can't even imagine like no one's on the same page. JD Vance's wife is Indian, one of your biggest commentators / you know, please don't let this nigga win any office. Vivek Ramaswamy, they're Indian. How do you, like, bro, you don't even think about that before you type this shit? What are you doing? I hope Kamala Harris says something about this and I hope she brings up the fact that JD Vance's wife is Indian, and I hope she brings up the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy and his wife are also Indian. It is disgusting that this is happening, and it's like they're not on the same page, bro. They just wild out and lower the bar further and further and further, and it makes it impossible for anyone to keep up. If you're not a straight Christian white male or female, it is chaos on the right. Jews excluded. That sounds crazy, but you get what I'm trying. Like, if you're white European, no Jewish ancestry in America, and you're conservative, there's no need to panic. But if you are not, if you are a minority of any kind on the right, you should be panicking right now. Because 1 minute it's Nazi apologetics, it's anti-Semitic rants, it's misogynistic commentary from a VP candidate, it's Laura Loomer talking crazy about Indian folk, when you got Vivek Ramaswamy in them, and JD Vance's wife in them, and you got, it's like, bro, it's like, what's going on? I would hate to be under the indictment, bro. Then you get the tainted media indictment, like, but what the fuck, bro? Yo, right-wing media is like hip-hop, rapper dead, so-and-so locked up, Rico done hit this nigga. Oh, it's like, damn, bro, like, they're rappers, bro. They are, bro. Like, MAGA is a bunch of gang members and rap, like, they really are. Indictment here, indictment there, crazy statement here, crash out moment there. Like, all they do is crash out. Bro, like, I'm glad on some level that Elon acquired Twitter, because now we get to see these niggas for what they are. Now we get to really see this shit. Now this shit gets to be documented for future generations, what this movement really is. Because there was like a plausible deniability for a while when like the crazies of their movement weren't able to have a voice, but now it's front and center. Now it's clear as day. So Marjorie Taylor Greene returns to civilization to condemn Laura Loomer's anti-Indian racism. I don't know if y'all believe MTG when she says this stuff, but I don't. Okay? I don't believe her at all. I don't know where she came from. I don't know where she's been. You know? I know you wanna win. Like that's like that. I don't know where she's been, but okay, like nice return. Anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Crazy moment from Big Marge. You know, what the fuck is going on over there? But these people are crazy. They're insane. Okay, like, comments, literally, please like. Okay, boost me in the algorithm. Let's get lit. Let's do this shit. You feel me? Let's do this. Like the video, comment and subscribe.